So this is going to be the Coldwater Canyon hike near Eden, Utah. Never done it before. I've already made 2 wrong turns before I even started the trailhead. So it should be interesting. It snowed, even though it's May 8th. Sorry, 9th. And yeah, it's still snowing out here whenever it wants to. Be 70 degrees last week, and then now we got snow coverage again. So, yeah. All right. So, is this part of the railroad? On Canyon Canyon, is it? Oh. Huh. Wow. Pretty cool. Giant kiln. Built by, yeah, it was for limestone and lime. Well, that'd be a pain in the butt to build. So, four hours round trip is what it's supposed to be. Should be fun. Well, let's see how it goes. Trying to wear my freaking gloves, but the phone doesn't like the gloves, so we will see. So I brought my, I just bought a drone, brought that with me. If I feel inclined to do so, I will try and take some aerial video shots, but I have a lot of learning to do. Just bought a bunch of toys. I have no idea how to use them. Like this GoPro, like my drone, and yeah, no experience using them. So I'm just starting this channel on YouTube called Andrew Talks. The whole premise is I talk about and do whatever I feel like, and I record it, edit it, publish it, and just see if anybody gives a damn to listen. But, you know, if they don't, that's fine. I live pretty far away from my family and stuff, so if they care to drop in and watch, they can. So that was part of the idea. But it's just kind of a giant experiment. So where we're at in Utah, Starts out at 4,500 feet elevation approximately. I think this one gains about 2,000 feet of elevation. So we'd be, you know, give or take, because you never know how accurate it is. Could be 6,500 to 7,000 feet at the end. Whew. And I haven't hiked in over a year because I'm dumb and fat. But actually, I was sick for like an entire year, and it sucked. Try to stay somewhat in shape by just lifting weights and stuff, but for a long time they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, because they found some crap in my eyes as well, because we couldn't figure out what was going on. We didn't know if it was neurological, autoimmune, cardiorespiratory, something like that. And so we just kept digging and, you know, accruing a lot of medical debt. But eventually found out the crap in my eyes is not autoimmune. I had about 8 doctors in the room at the University of Utah Moran Eye Clinic, which was regarded as super good, one of the best in the country or world. And they said they think it's eventually they said it was probably just pigment, because no one knew what it was. They had never seen it before, but on the eye test they did, I forget what it was called, but it showed up and almost looked golden color, but it was just barely like around the corner of my retinas in both eyes, and it looked kind of lumpy and stuff. But yeah, I mean, long story short, it took approximately a year for them to say I'm just a mutant. No superpowers, nothing cool like that, but there shouldn't be any problems with like eyesight loss or anything like that in the future. And during that year, I tried to get healthier, see if I could improve and inhibit or cut back on those symptoms I was experiencing, like being short-winded. Basically, I was breathing like this, just walking around in my living room. Like some chest pain, some palpitations, a lot of dizziness. I mean, a lot of dizziness, fatigue. Eyesight would go dark. All sorts of random things. Shaking. So I quit drinking alcohol. And that helped. That was exacerbating the symptoms if they weren't the cause, but they were a catalyst for sure. And then I started getting, just for what I was going through, decided to put me on venlafaxine, which is a antidepressant and anxiety medication. And there are no like problems with it. Like, I don't have any side effects from it. And so that was nice. It kicked in like right away. A lot of those take days to kick in. And you know, it cleared up most of my symptoms like within just a few short days. So what I think it is, without seeming disrespectful or exaggerating, is, well, they say anxiety, like, I don't feel stressed out at all when it's happening. I feel like I do now, normal. But my body isn't responding well. Basically, my mind and my body have two separate minds. And, well, talk about pretty, huh? So, anyway, my mind feels fine. I don't feel emotionally stressed or anything like that. Because I've been in a lot of dangerous situations, almost died a few times and other crazy things. Just turns out my body can't handle it anymore. You know? So, you know, that came as a shock to me because I've had a buddy shot and helped him out, treated his wounds, and was level-headed during that. I've had multiple people try and rip me out of my vehicles, attack me, and, you know, of course, adrenaline's coursing through your veins during that, but I keep a cool head. Some of the times I had a gun on me, because I was a commercial driver. You get a lot of road rage. People think they're more important than you. No offense to people who have road rage or anything, but just some people think they're the president or something. And so they get pissed off at me and try and rip me out of my truck or something, or a rock hit their windshield, which, you know, we have mud flaps, we have all this stuff. You shouldn't be tailgating. You know, you're responsible for that if that happens. And they get all pissed off and try and rip me out of my truck. And, you know, I keep a level head. I don't attack or antagonize or anything like that. I'm my gun on me. And, you know, I wasn't anxious during that. So I don't know if I go left or if I go right to go up there. So let me check the All Trails app. Yeah, gotta take it off. I thought these gloves used to work with that. So all the switchbacks we just did. All right, so okay, so it's saying continue down that way. This appears like it runs back up and it'll go up there. And what is that called? Let's just see. Or will it tell me? Must just be a campsite out there. That would be kind of cool. Do that for a weekend. Maybe I'll keep that in mind. Convince my fiance to come out. You know, as a crow flies, we're not far from that road, but it's already quiet. That's cool. So I'll continue this way. See what else we got. I've already gained 250 foot of elevation. So that's pretty cool. So, all right. But anyway, there was a time when my buddy and I, same guy who got shot, he and I, as his father said, you know, we were like, oh, it was a 1 in a million when he got shot because it was a ricochet, and it hit him in the leg. I was with my fiance. It was our like first time hanging out outside of college in a bar hop we did once. God, this is just pretty, and I hope you guys can see that. Just alpine, you know, Christmas setting in May. So anyway, we were shooting steel targets. We had our own little setup going, and we had the steel targets hanging on hooks. One of the hooks came off, so the plate was kind of just swinging haphazardly on from one little Mickey Mouse ear, essentially. And he shot the target. It ricocheted back and hit him. We were both loading our magazines for our guns. And, he's like, Asmus, help. And I'm just like, what? I look over my shoulder and there he is lying on the ground. Looked like he was in a fetal position, like he got hit in the gut. And I was just like, oh shit, because he and I did tree work. So we got banged up real bad. I had a lot of close calls doing that. Tree work is actually typically in the top 3 for most dangerous jobs. Getting crushed by trees, cranes, all sorts of things. Chainsaw accidents, obviously. We all had our share of accidents and close calls. And so anyway, I knew he was hurt for real. So I rushed over to his side and I rolled him over and immediately inspected his abdomen. There's no blood there, but then he's like, no, my leg. Look at his leg, and you guys can't see it, but I was going to point at my thigh. He got hit in the upper thigh. A bullet bounced down and then went out near his kneecap. It didn't hit a femoral artery. We didn't know at the time, so I immediately just take my belt off and apply a tourniquet. Thing is, if it was a femoral artery or something, by the time I would have gotten to him and assessed what kind of damage he had, if it was a proper hit to the femoral, he probably would have died already. So we were very fortunate, but we all kept a cool head. My fiance kept a cool head. Obviously she wasn't my fiance then. And we kind of did the tourniquet, started carrying him up there, and he was all proud because he's just ornery that way. And he was like, I walk down here, I'll walk out. So he walks out on the gunshot wound. We wait, call 911 and all this crap. I was talking to them the whole time. I was also treating his wounds and stuff. And the first people there were like detectives. They hear gunshot wound and they send cops first, not the ambulance. So the ambulance got there a little later. But we stowed all our guns and stuff like that, just made everything safe. And his parents got there about a half hour later before they took him took him down to the hospital in Cincinnati, because I grew up in Ohio. And we took him, they treated him, basically just stitched him up. He wasn't bleeding much at all at that point. He said it hit like a ligament or a tendon, and it traveled down his leg and bounced back out, because the path of least resistance, because it was already a ricochet. It wasn't going at 900 feet per second like it would have. It was probably like 600 or so, because obviously it was enough to break flesh. And they said it was actually quite close to his femoral artery. And so treated him, stitched him up and stuff. And his wise ass ran a 10K, I think 2 weeks later, because he's an ass. I guess this won't ever get monetized because I've cussed a few times, huh? Anyway, so yeah, going back to it, long story short, he and I also, one time, like just a few months later, we're living together, roommates and stuff, and we went to Jungle Gyms, which is in Fairfield. None of you guys know where that is, I'm sure, but went there. It has all sorts of exotic foods and stuff. Got some fish, and we're driving back, getting on the interstate. We're on the entrance ramp. matching speed with traffic. And I see a truck. And, you know, if you're entering this way, interstate's here, there's that triangle right here. That's like no man's land. There's a truck sitting right there. And so I was like, you know, Alex, the truck, he's moving. And his butt was reversing up the entrance ramp. By the time we realized that, it was too late. You know, he was coming about 20 in reverse. We were going about 65 or so. And so he was backing straight into our where we were going. We lock up the brakes and stuff like that. I see it coming from a mile away. I just, you know, fold my arms, lean back and relax, just accept what's gonna come. And we run right into the back of this truck. This guy had it loaded down with riding mower, 2 push mowers, a bunch of weed whackers and stuff. And so it was like hitting like a concrete barrier. We just stopped dead. Airbags deployed, obviously. And I look over at Alex. You know, there's still all that smoke and haze inside from the airbags. And his butt is laying down. I was like, oh God, he got knocked out or something. So I get him from underneath his arms, unbuckle him, and start to drag him out. He gets clear enough headed so he can help himself out the rest of the way. And Dingleberry, this guy, decides he's gonna get in our face and all this stuff. We're on the phone with the police, obviously. A couple people pull over and say, you know, hey, we saw the whole thing. If you need us, you know, we'll offer testimony. Because it was unbelievable. I mean, guy going reverse up an entrance ramp. And this is pretty though, isn't it? To think it's May. So, guys in my face and stuff like that. Alex had his gun on him. I took it from him and put it in my pocket. I was wearing a Pico, so I put it in like one of those flat pockets, and I had my gun on me. And this guy's all in our face. And I was like, you know, can you just stay over there? You know, wait for the cops to get here. They'll want to hear everything, but, you know, please give us some space. And this guy, I'm 6 foot, 195 pounds. This guy was like 5'3", I don't know, short guy. You know, he looked like Kevin Hart or something. And he's all in my face. And he's late 40s, maybe in his 50s. And he's like, yeah, don't tell me what to do. I'm like, all right, dude, you know, he's all... I think it was all just supposed to be insurance fraud on his part. He didn't want to get hurt, so he packed his truck up real good. You know, he's in my face trying to aggravate the situation, escalate it, and make there be a fist fight or something. Well, heck no. I've got guns on me and knives and stuff. You know, and I'm always cool-headed. I always de-escalate situations. I'm just like, all right, whatever, dude. And Alex had walked about 25 yards away or wherever to get his breath and stuff. He felt like crap, obviously. And so the guy eventually meanders his way away. 2 cop cars pull up, and a guy starts in on them, giving them attitude, poking at their chest and stuff, really being a piece of crap. And you know, the cops were very patient with him. Eventually they had a black cop come there, because this is mostly white area, but, or I should say mostly white police department, but they had a black officer come. And once the guy started on him, he's like, I will lay your ass out. You know, he's not really worried about getting in trouble if he lays his hands on him, as the white officers are. And this was before, you know, all the riots. This is about 3 years ago, I guess. So that hadn't even happened yet. Nowadays, I don't even know if that would be okay, you know? But this guy was really nasty. And so this guy tried saying, you know, we were driving like maniacs, you know, going way too fast. Cop was like, no, that's bull crap, you know. The speed limit on an entrance ramp is the same as the interstate. So shut up, essentially. You know, because you have to match speed. Don't be, you know, ignorant. This is really nice, guys. It's pretty. So, anyway, I think it's snowing too, unless it's just come off the trees. Anyway, they told him to blow it out his butt, you know, basically. This guy eventually went to court, tried telling the judge that, you know, oh, you can't get me for going the wrong way on the interstate or whatever. I didn't put in reverse, the car rolled back, you know, trying to differentiate between the two. And the judge just literally looked at him like he was the dumbest guy he's met probably that week. Because let's be honest, being a judge, I mean, it probably is like watching Jerry Springer. He dismisses the stupidity right away. And I guess all the charges stuck. But yeah, he was uninsured, without a license, all sorts of stuff. Just big dumb guy. But anyway, coming back to it all, I've had many situations. People grab me by the throat, people push me against crap, people try to rip me out of my vehicles. You know, I was afraid of men up until I was about 18 years old. I had some good mentors who were men who really helped me out just because of, you know, how I grew up and stuff. And so all of a sudden, going back to my medical crap, because, you know, long talk for a long walk. You know, I can handle the stress. You know, you still get the surges of adrenaline and stuff, but I stay chill. And anyway, this guy, you know, I apparently just him got this anxiety problem now, which is kind of crappy for me because I feel fine in the head and, you know, keep my wits about me. You know, I'm not the kind of guy to freeze up or whatever, but apparently my body has a mind of his own. So that sucks. But what can you do? Just check on you. All right, 28 minutes, 30 seconds. We're doing good. I need to pick up the pace though. The battery's at like half already. Got a second battery, but I want you guys to last the whole way. You know, see the finish. I was walking pretty slow during my talk. Yeah. All right. So, this trail apparently, from what I read on all trails, has a lot of like break-off points. As we've seen about, what, 4 of them so far. I'm just gonna follow bridges and stuff. After all, it's like the Coldwater or whatever trail, Coldwater Creek Trail. Just follow this. There's already been people here today with a dog. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to get all this going. I don't know. I've always loved YouTube. I've loved watching my gear reviewers. My OG is nothing fancy. He made me always want to move out here from Ohio. I thought it was wide open spaces and great places to shoot, ride dirt bikes, all that crap. It's pretty built up. Basically from what is Pleasant Grove, which is south of Salt Lake, up to Pleasant View, which is north. You've got about a 90-mile stretch of continuous city, suburb, factories, everything all mixed together. It never stops because it's a valley. So I never expected that. That was a bummer. It's more built up here than it is in Ohio, but geographically this is a lot more interesting. Ohio will always be home though, but I got into this because I wanted to have fun, have an excuse to go do stuff. So anyway, you've got like Nutton, watched a bunch of dirt bikers. Everride comes to mind. He's awesome. His cinematography is really beautiful. He's out here in Utah. He's in St. George, I believe, which is pretty south. I'm in Ogden. So, yeah. I still haven't found those cool places to shoot, but there's good hiking. But this is going to be a little bit of an experiment. If I want to talk philosophically, politically, about backpacks, hiking crap, or guns, or whatever, I now have an excuse. So, should be fun. And I hope you guys come along for the ride. I'm fat. I'm not fat, but you would think so. Let me see where we're at. Ooh, I set my teeth on edge. Okay. We've gained 500 feet and 25 feet of elevation. Oh no, I'm on the wrong trail. Darn it. It was the left. Alright. Hustle back. Yeah. Should have looked when I was talking about just following the bridges. Darn it. Alright. So anyway, not even halfway, done about a mile. I think it's a 2.5 mile one way, which I'm gonna kind of jog, isn't terrible, but when you're gaining 2,000 feet of elevation, it's 1,000 feet on average per mile. Believe me, you notice it. So Mr. Dog went up this trail. I need to go up the one over there. I was doing the Murph at the beginning of the year, every week. My Achilles tendon has been shot for years, and I was really excited because I was able to run again. The Murph really is just 2 miles of running, and they're in 1 mile increments. So you don't get a lot of lactic acid buildup, but enough. And I was doing really great, and then I just got a hair up my butt. And I was like, I really want to do a longer run. It's been years since I did that. I did a 4 mile run. I had blisters all over my feet. It was bad. It was weeks before I healed. But oh, yeah. Good thing I had 3 pairs of pants on. Wood is slippery when wet. Anyway, yeah, I fell right at the end of that bridge. Just fell on my butt. Anyway, my Achilles tendons got really bad again because of that. So I had to stop, but I feel confident enough to do that light little jog back down here. So yeah, going up this. Geez Louise, it's white and pretty. It's really fluffy snow. Look at that. It almost looks like little BBs or something. Kind of cool. Utah is supposed to have some of the best snow in the world. I don't know. I can get some Wawa. Anyway, whew, that went down my back. Oh well, cool me off. I'm a little on the sweaty side, not a lot. I have 2 thermal pants I bought from Costco, a pair of these Ido Gear G3 kind of ripstop airsoft paintball hiking pants, and I've got 2 pairs of thermal long sleeve shirts on, and then again an Ido Gear G3 shirt. They look like the who is it, Cryo or whatever makes it. They're really expensive pants and shirts that all the operators use. That's like $350, $450. This stuff's like 80, and people turn their nose up at it because it's not the real thing, whatever. They work good for me. And then, you know, do you really think you're gonna notice the difference or wear it out? Because you know, they hold up. Airsofters, paintballers, all that stuff. Every weekend those guys are running around wearing them. If it works for them, your fat ass will probably be fine. But I wanted to try this stuff out. If I slip and fall like I did, just be a little bit more resistant to tears. So anyway, I had 3 pairs of socks on. 2 like thick winter shoe socks, and then a pair of these like almost scuba diving material socks. They're waterproof. I bought them years ago for when I went to Zion and I hiked the tunnels. Sorry, Narrows, not the tunnels. There's subway. I did the Narrows, which follows the Virgin River north and cuts through some narrow canyons, hence the name. I got up to like 5 feet deep in some spots, so having socks and shoes, real shoes, or hiking boots on that wouldn't give me blisters because my feet were great, and they work great. They're not comfortable, so I definitely recommend, if you're gonna wear them for a wet hike like that, have a second pair of socks on just in case, because blisters suck. Speaking of blisters, I was mentioning that when I started running, I did that 4 mile. I skin was so bad. Lost so many layers of skin because of blisters and stuff. I got one of those scrubby stones for your feet because my feet look like crap. I just thought it was funny. Never would have thought that day would come. So, swear to God, I'm gonna check the phone if I'm on the wrong trail. I'm gonna be sad. Good. Done 1.3 miles. Telling you, man, elevation makes a big difference. Ohio, Cincinnati especially, is at approximately 450 feet elevation. So this is 10 times higher up here. I meant to look it up one day to see like how many atmosphere you have based on elevation. I don't know what it is, but you notice it. Every 1,000 feet or so, man, it does just get that much harder. So, who knows what it is here? But feels like you're doing a lot crazier cardio. It is opening up, so that's nice. Get you guys a little different view. Looks like we have a bird or something that's hopping around. It's freaking quiet. Well, this is going to be, left or right? This is going to be an unfiltered, unedited video probably. First, when it's published. Editing, I've never done before. Never done any of this. Has me nervous. Alright, that one. Alright, so probably upload this raw. So, you know, you'll have a whole hike on it. And then over the course of the next couple of days, I will edit it and probably post a more succinct, efficient video, like a 30-minute, if I can, because I've been talking the whole time. So unless I just do like music over it and mute myself, I could do that. Good thing I like talking to myself, huh? I have all the company I need. And my glasses are frozen over. Oh yeah. I'm definitely sweating. Take them off, yes. How white it is. Wanted to wear them, but my sweat started freezing on them, so I put them on top of my head. Yep, all that steam from my sweat has just frozen now. I'm smart. SMRT. I'm fat. So, I don't know. I hope you guys do watch it. I don't care if you're, you know, cleaning the house or something when you're watching or whatever, and you just peek up and look from time to time and enjoy this. But not everyone has access to this or can do it. I think this is for them. All right. Sorry if you saw that. Just making sure I can still draw. If you're wondering what kind of animals we have out here, the answer is yes. We do have bear. We do have mountain lion, bobcats, coyote, and actually speaking of coyote, a little dog feet right here. And no human feet, so probably some coyote. So rattlesnakes and stuff. I've come across a rattlesnake before out here. Baby one. My fiance and I came across one, and yep, okay. You know, he was in the bushes. There was an ultra marathon runner running one of these trails, steeper than this one, nastier than this one. And, you know, he's running up this running down the mountain. And he leaps like a gazelle. And he's like, oh, there's a baby rattler right there. You hear him. Once he said it, you hear it rattling. You're like, oh. So we took a peek at him from a safe distance. He was, you know, tiny, real skinny. And, we just, you know, gave him a wide berth and went on with our trail or our hike. But yeah, so we've got 4-legged beasts, no-legged beasts, and 2-legged beasts. You know, you never know what you'll come across. So yeah, not a bad idea to have a little something. So, hope you guys are enjoying this so far. And if you're wondering, it's a Gen 4 Glock 19. I use gold dot. And there you go, and a spare mag. Whew. I'm fat. How you doing? You're about a quarter of a battery, huh? I'll have to check on you from time to time. Make sure you're still going. Whew. Oh, this is pretty. Wind is blowing too. Snow! Uh-oh. That was dumb. Now, water on you. Alright. Note to self, don't be dumb. Oh, come out of my gloves from when I fell. It's getting wet and they're getting hard to put back on. All right. So I have a really weird schedule at work. One week, like this week, it's Monday. Oh, Monday and Tuesday off. Then Wednesday and Thursday I work 12s. Then I'll have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. Then I'll work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, 12s. Then I'll be off Wednesday, Thursday. Then I'll work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12s. So, you know, one nice thing about that schedule is, you know, my fiance's at work. I can come out and do this stuff pretty regularly and post it, you know. And it's an excuse to get out, enjoy myself, rather than sit in the house and play video games, which is fun. But I get to do this, and if people like it, that's cool. If not, I don't know, my family can look at it, whatever. I only get to see them a couple times a year, so when we move into our house, I'm doing like landscaping and stuff. I intend to video it, record it, post it, so they can enjoy it, see me, and all that stuff. You're supposed to never see my fiance on video. She doesn't want to be on it. It's like her one stipulation. So hopefully I never make a mistake and post that. Whew. It's rocky. So a lot of people snowshoe out here. I wonder if that's it's not a rabbit. Must be a coyote. A lot of people snowshoe out here when it gets deep. It shouldn't be deep here. There's been enough melting and stuff. That should have occurred where I should be fine in just boots. But yeah. It looks like I have to cross the creek. But let's make sure. Yeah. Alright. Yep. Right there. Just follow it up that way. And then it just ends. Okay. Gained 823 feet. About, I think it's supposed to be like 2.5. I don't even know anymore. Don't really know where the rocks are and the ledges are, so I'm gonna probably eat it. Nope. Good old twig saved my life. Okay. So this is frickin' pretty. I'm sweating my butt off. Should I take the coat off? That's the question. I could. Hold on. Stay. This has been a good coat. Got it at Costco for pretty cheap. What do you think, guys? Got my drone and stuff in there, if you see. Underwear. This is my get home bag as well. I work way out in the desert, so if something ever happens, I need to be able to, make it on my own until I can get home or whatever. Got some pepperoni for a mountaintop snack. You go there, you go there. Oh, grab my phone. Gonna need that. Here we go. Sorry, I'm dumb. In my pocket. Okay. May not be able to get this closed all the way. I need to replace this backpack eventually. I think it's like a 27 liter or something like that. I used it in college. It was good. Zippers have been failing slowly, so it's almost time to replace it. That's good enough. If you're wondering what this is toilet paper. Why toilet paper, you may ask? Well, get trapped out in the desert and you need to go, there you go. Or if you need something to start a fire with, there you go. And I have a bunch of extra garbage bags on it as well, keep it dry. And then if I need to make like something to protect me from water, I can keep it or whatever, get creative. I've got one of these sea rations. It's like 10,000 calories for if you get stranded out in the ocean or something. If I get stuck in the desert where I work or halfway between there and home, I have a long hike, so that would be great to have food. And 10,000 calories will get you home. It might not taste great, but you won't have crashing blood sugar and feeling like crap. If you need to run away from a coyote or something, you can. Or beat the crap out of it, break its neck, whatever you can do. But yeah, I am sweating, dude. Well, figured the coat would go. Thing is, I have a lot of crap in my backpack because I'm just trying out the get home bag, see how heavy it is, and if I find it useful or not. And after all, I've never hiked in the snow here. I don't expect any problems, but if I did, I've got like Mylar poncho, Mylar sleeping bag, can throw up like a Mylar tent, paracord, lighters, compass, all sorts of crap. Because again, this is supposed to be if I get stranded somewhere. The state of Utah actually does recommend that pretty seriously because we get nasty summers and nasty winters. It's great if you're an outdoorsman. It's a lot of fun, but it can kill you. So I've got a like 2-liter hydration pack in my backpack. Should probably get a bigger one, but anyway, it's a 2-liter, and my brother-in-law told me so you don't have that nasty plastic taste for the first couple times you use it, to like squirt some lemon in there. And tell you what, it doesn't taste like lemon, but it doesn't taste like plastic. It tastes like nothing. So that's good. And that water's been in there a while. Come on, there you go. Okay. So yeah, if any of you guys are hikers, you know this, but layers. I've worked outside most of my life, whether it was on farms or doing tree work. I think I go this way. Layers save your butt. It might be more efficient to just have one big heavy coat or something, but when you're out here working, hiking, whatever you are doing outside, you're gonna get hot. And you wanna be able to take that off. When I did tree work in the winter in Ohio, you work so freaking hard and get so hot and sweaty. I would be working in a t-shirt and jeans when it'd be snowy like this, because it gets so freaking hot. And then when we stop or whatever, we slow down, because it comes in bursts, I would throw my layers back on and they'd be dry, and so I'd stay warm. It's pretty critical. Layers are your friends. Having redundancy built in is really good. Again, like, I don't know, I have multiple ways to start a fire if I had to, multiple ways to throw down protection from water or the elements in the mylar or plastic bags I can turn into like socks if I didn't have the waterproof socks or something. I mean, there's quite a few things you can do. You just get creative and throw it in your backpack and you're willing to carry it. Yeah. These Merles, they've been good boots. I wish they had a higher like ankle, not like for angle, but covering my legs. I think this is like 6 inches. If it was like 9, I think it'd be perfect. Because right now it ends right at like my Achilles tendon, and as you know, I'm a little paranoid about upsetting my tendons. So yeah. That would be the one thing I would, if I were to buy again, I'd buy these if it came with like a 9-inch like leg thing. Speaking about boots, I hate steel toe for my life. It's the worst. It's so freaking cold. My feet are always cold because I've worked out in the snow for so many years and stuff. And I have proof for this. I just hate it so much. It's really, really cold. The steel toe absorbs the cold, and then just, it's like if you had your foot bare on a steel floor that's outside. It hurts. But it's damaged my nerves in my feet enough to where when they were testing me for all my medical crap, trying to see if I had like an autoimmune or something, they got like a needle and were poking all over my body to see if my nerve endings were good. And they poked my toes. And they were like, oh yeah, like, can you feel that? I'm like, no, or barely. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah. They're like, and they're gonna write it down, chalk it up to like an autoimmune. I was like, well, I worked outside in boots in the cold for many years, and I've lost some feeling down there. And they're like, oh, okay, you know, that makes sense. So yeah, steel toe, I wish employers would move away from it, because truth be told, if something crushes my foot, whether I have steel toe on or not, I'm probably screwed. It hurts with mobility and climbing crap, which tree work, you know, that was something I always had to do, because you can't jam your toes in between like those branches as a place to climb up. So it's a pain in the butt. Now, if you want to do like a carbon fiber shoe or a toe, that's fine, or any other composite, I'd be all about it. They won't be that like thermal bridge, so to speak, to your feet, so I wouldn't have a problem with that. But a lot of employers don't recognize it yet. OSHA needs to get their shit together, sorry, and allow that, because sucks. If you see that pipe right there, the workers' core or whatever, back in like FDR's era, he had a lot of parks built, and I think that's what they said about this trail, oops, is that it was done by them, and these young men built all this. And looks like that is a pipe from uphill, almost 1,000 feet we've gained. Says we've only done 123 calories, guys. I call bullcrap. So, anyway, are you still recording? Holy crap, you're low. I might switch you out right now, and we'll pick up from here, all right? Guess I'll put the, I'll be right back. I have to put the backpack down. All right. Hi guys, we're back. So, I ordered like 4 more batteries. I have 2 that I got with this thing. I bought this used. It's a GoPro Black, but it's a 7, Hero 7. So it's old. It can still do 4K, which I thought was important. I'm recording this on 1080 right now because I just don't have the batteries. I have the memory because I've got like a huge micro SD card, but I don't have the battery life for it today. So the next videos will be better. But this one is going to be recorded in 1080. I can't remember what the frame rate is now, but it's not like this is super thrilling sports or anything, you know. I'm just recording my fat butt walking up a mountain. So I don't know if you really need 60 frames per second, but you would appreciate the 4K, which is coming. Again, next time I do one of these big trips, probably next week. I mean, my fiance and I are doing one this weekend. I have a long weekend, but again, she doesn't want to be on video, so I'm not going to bring it unless I just want to do like a muted one, but I'd have to edit around her if she's ever ahead of me, and I'm constantly waiting for her to turn around like this, so it wouldn't really work. You guys are recording, right? Yeah. Right? Yep. So anyway, I just think I'll leave it at home. Well, that was a nice little break. That 2 minutes it took to switch out the battery, hit start again, and pack up my backpack. I need to pop my collar. This GoPro like chest rig isn't bad, but it is rubbing me a little bit. So anyway, I bought the 7 because it can still do 4K. You can swap out the batteries, swap out the lenses if you break it, which I've already fallen once. So it's not hard to imagine my butt falling face first and this hitting like a rock or something. That would suck. And you know, this with the charger, with the GoPro itself, extra batteries, it was $250. It's a refurbish. It had like one little white nick, but it looks like it's of good quality still, so I was happy with that. A new one was like $300, and it didn't come with the charger and stuff. You know, you just put a USB into this, or the C or Mini, wherever the heck they are, and charge it that way. And that's dumb. I accidentally, before I bought this one, bought a silver. I thought it was just color, you know, white, silver, black. Oh, well, silver's cool, I'll buy that. I thought it's cheaper by $20 than the black. And then I realized it doesn't have a battery. The battery lasts longer for like 2 hours. But you can't swap out the lens or the battery, if I'm not mistaken. So I decided cancel that and order this. So anyway, snow's about, well, it's over the arch of my foot, so probably like 2, almost 3 inches deep. And now the further we go, it's probably going to get deeper. Oh, it's so pretty. That blue sky over top. Getting up there would suck, but you know, I'll do it. Sounds like fun, just not today. You know those Dippin' Dots? That's what it looks like, doesn't it? No. Not bad. A little cold in the teeth. Oh. This is pretty. It's so pretty. There is a huge, like, clonal forest of quaking aspen in like middle or southern Utah. It's the biggest like living organism in the world. But besides like a mycelium or whatever, so like mushroom, like fungi, technically, the root systems and stuff connect them all. So they kind of say that that's bigger, and then somehow, I guess, like genetically test them or whatever. But yeah, that quaking aspen, he's huge, and it's just a giant forest. That's one tree really, or his clones of himself. I'd love to check that out. My fiance and I always talk about it. We really need to get around to it, but maybe this channel will push me to do it. Oh, so cold. It's nuts, ain't it? May 9th. Here I am in a snow-covered forest. One thing I've learned real quickly here in the Salt Lake Valley, it's a lot warmer, and there's just one mountain in. Like once you wind up that canyon just a mile, the temperature drops a lot because it's a lot more guarded from the sun. So the stone doesn't warm up as much. And then of course, as the fronts hit the mountain face on the Salt Lake side, it starts to break them up or stir them up, and then they'll go over the top and it'll start to perspire. You know, you'll have precipitation, you'll have snow. And so inside mountain range, it gets a lot more snowfall, rainfall, etc. All of our water comes from reservoirs primarily, and we've had a drought for the last couple of years, so it'd be great if they could rebuild or get more water storage going. If this mountain melt, you know, is sufficient to pull us out of that deficit, because that's a real concern of mine, having not grown up in the desert and being here. You notice how screwed they are a lot more if there's no water, and it's not a small amount of people here either. So first thing I did was get a crap ton of water storage going when I moved here, because they were talking last year about they didn't know if they were going to be able to have enough water to go around. Could you imagine? American City, not Flint, Michigan. That's, you know, nice. Not the ghetto or something, or didn't have a natural disaster and they want to be able to supply them with water, and they'd have to like ship it in. Oh. Sorry if it's obnoxious, me chewing this snowball. If you like geology and stone formations and stuff, this is your state. Boulders out the butt, beautiful looking stone, very diverse appearances. And where I stopped in this valley to get off and hike, if you keep going, if you go up 80 towards Wyoming, it very quickly goes from this like granite, you know, dark stone, and looks like that picturesque orange stone very quickly within a short distance. There's just so much pretty scenery here. It really is nice. I mean, like, that is like a pink granite or whatever. You could see how someone would shave that, you know, not shave it, but machine it, mill it down, and how that would be a countertop or something. It is pretty out here. It's just my chief concern is it being overpopulated and an importation of ideas and views that aren't about the foundation of this area. This is a religiously conservative area. Historically, it's always been so. It's always been politically conservative. You know, to import ideas contrary to that and expect the people to, you know, change and adapt to you when you're the one importing your ideas is really selfish. You know, this whole area was settled because of persecution for the religious beliefs. I'm not Mormon, LDS, whatever, but I understand and respect that they were killed a lot because of their beliefs, so they just kept going west and west, and then they settled this valley, and now people are trying to treat them like they're the backwards people for being who they are, and that they should now change for them. It's like, well, they didn't change for religious beliefs, you know, and religious persecution. Why are they going to change again for religious political persecution? You know, why do you think you have a right to dictate for them that they change? If you're moving here, shouldn't you adapt to your surroundings? That's how ecosystems work. If you were to look at this like it's, you know, nature, if you're an animal from outside the area, over time you would change and adapt. So should you. If you don't identify with them to be more so homogenous, maybe go to an area where you would be more homogenous. Look at that. It's pretty. If it starts snowing on me real good, I'll have to turn around, go back to the car. It is overcast. I don't expect it. If it's a light snow, I don't care. But if it turns into like a whiteout, I gotta get out of here, you know, before I get lost. And that is why you have all this crap in your backpack here. Yeah, this is a day hike. Yeah, you could be fine with a water bottle. Weather can kick up pretty fast. You can get hurt. Animals are here. You know, this is their area, not yours. You're invading their territory. Most of them are probably still hibernating, but still. Be mindful and adapt to your surroundings. It's not a park. You know, in Ohio, we have a lot of just asphalt trails and stuff. Plenty of good running trails that are rough. Wider than this, but rough, or mountain bike trails that are like this. But for the most part, it's a lot more safe, obviously. The wild that we would always go to be like Red River Gorge, just down in Kentucky. Near Nada, Kentucky. I always remember because they have a church there called Nada Church and Nada Tunnel. I always thought that was funny. But down there, a lot of people die every year falling off the cliffs and stuff, so I understand and I respect it. Before I walk under this, I want to make sure it's safe. You know what? Walk around it. I'm not messing around. So, yeah, and it was pretty rough terrain like this, depending where you're at. A lot of cliffs, not so much mountain slopes. There'd just be drop-offs. So, you know, I'm not a greenhorn, but I'm not one of these guys who trailblaze, bushwhack, and live out here for a long time on their own. Could I? Yeah, if I had a friend. You know, if Alex was out here with me or something, we could do it. You'd have to import your food, because I don't believe that my hunting skills will be able to supply me with food or anything, and there's not food for gathering. At least not yet. I don't know. So, all right, let me check my map. Means I have to put down my snowball. Those are quaking aspen, if you're wondering. That's what that forest is that I was talking about. Okay, so yeah, I do just continue up here. Done 2.2 miles. I think it's like 3.2, so I got another mile. We've gained almost 1,300 feet. I won't have you on for the hike back, just because I won't have the battery life for it. Just imagine everything in reverse. I'll just rewind it for you and just play it that way. How about that? Man, it's really impressive. This guy's walking an entire trail backwards. So, looks like I go this way because that creek bed's overgrown. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not really marked out here. So the All Trails app is really helpful. I just thought about something. I normally hike with this backpack, but with this new job and being out in the desert, kind of turned this into a get home bag. I don't have a first aid kit and crap in it right now. So if I were to get really banged up, oh, I'd be screwed. Look at this. That's a caterpillar. He is alive. I thought he was dead. It's so cold, they're falling off the trees. I thought these were twigs. That's a caterpillar. Sorry, guy. You're gonna be bird food, I'm afraid. Yeah, there's another one. Huh. Yeah, it kind of gives you perspective how quickly this place snapped. As I was saying, it's been in the 50s, 60s, 70s on and off. There'd be cold mornings where it's in the 30s and stuff, but this has been a pretty good snow. And so these trees have the beginnings of, green, leaves, and it's just sprouting and stuff. You have flowers and stuff, what look like kind of like tulips or something growing. And then this cold snap happened. And that's not out of the ordinary in the mountains, but I mean, look, you got those flowers growing, and you got F-35s flying, and no, you can't see them. They're over the cloud coverage, but it's daily here. You get to see them just circling around. They're typically about 3 or 4 at a time. Anyway, so yeah, all this growth, I mean, maybe it makes it, or it's gonna all die, and then the later growth will kick up and catch up. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. When I was in Ohio, I learned a lot of plants, memorized them and stuff. Stuff that would be edible, or just stuff that was pretty, stuff that was medicinal. Never bothered with mushrooms because they say that's a real crapshoot and you can die. I should probably learn here. Some of my favorite wildflowers, they look very similar, so it shows you, is Virginia bluebells. Look at that. And Mertensia. Myrrh like Merlin, Tensia. They grow in like a kind of a woody section like this, where the canopy would block a lot of sunlight, but still enough for them to grow. And with that like shaded nature to it, these blue flowers look like they glow in the dark, almost like Avatar or something. You know, the blue people Avatar, not, you know, Aang the Last Airbender. And I just thought it was so pretty. So yeah, look at these mountains. Frickin' pretty. I think you guys can see it. I have you on the chest rig, so I'm just like pointing the chest rig at it. Real pretty. Let's keep going. Got to get to the end of the trail before you die. So, yeah. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad I did it. I think this is a good idea. Maybe people watch it. I don't know. As I said, like this channel, it's just me and my thoughts. Oh, look at those little wildflowers. Those are pretty. Let's check this out. You see that? That's pretty. They're already rolling up though because of the cold. It's a shame. Can you see it? Did you see it? See? Yeah. All right. So, yeah, it's just me and my thoughts. I read a bit. I don't know about you, but in high school and college, it was becoming more and more obvious that you're being taught everything with an agenda. Even in high school, I came from a school that was really poor. So my history textbooks, for instance, were from the 70s. And I always give this example where the text was a lot smaller, vocabulary was a lot more refined and more complicated. And then there were less photos. And then we got grant money from the state of Ohio for new books. And then a lot bigger pictures, a lot bigger text, worse vocabulary. It was dumbed down quite a bit, and it had an agenda. You could read it and tell there's a viewpoint. It was like reading someone's book report on history from their own perspective almost. So I've kind of had this goal where I would read the documents of the founding fathers, because that's the most important thing for me besides, faith, is reading historical text directly from the writer's point of view, rather than, you read about the Magna Carta, you read about our founding fathers and what they thought, but it's through someone else's book report, essentially, their own view. The publisher, the editor of these textbooks, they have multiple authors writing them a lot of times. They have their own agenda, their own perspective, and they speak of it with authority, and they don't have authority. A lot of the stuff they write about, they project and correct incorrectly people's perspectives from the past, as if, they are all-knowing and that they are correct. So I started reading. First thing I read was the Federalist Papers, because Constitution is, I think, a perfect document. And if you are to read it and interpret it and read Federalist Papers, and I did a bit of the Anti-Federalist, but it's really just them just saying, we object to this point, this point, this point. It wasn't really a breakthrough of thought and enlightenment. It's really just, hey, we disagree with you about federal power. That was really the big thing about Anti-Federalists. Anyway, they founding fathers really give good explanation, a good example in the Federalist Papers about why they are doing things the way they are, and they source stuff from ancient Greece and Rome, the old republics, and talk about their experience with democracy or constitutional governments, and why they are thinking a certain way. They're citing like you should when you write your own college paper, but our textbooks really, I feel like, are written to a lesser bar than we write our own freaking papers anymore. So anyway, I read that. I've read a couple snippets, like there was like George Washington's Library.org or something like that, where I read, because the Second Amendment is huge for me. I think that is what has been holding back tyranny for so long. I think it's a huge responsibility to give the citizens, just like voting is. And you need an intelligent populace and responsible, well-raised populace for it to be successful and not just be, chaos. And we've been successful with that. I think this next generation and the next 80 years, we have to be a lot more conscientious about how we educate our children and the future generations, because we've been allowing public education to raise our children, essentially, and those days are gone. If you do that now, it's gonna be really bad. So anyway, I think it's great. I really support it. And I was reading a lot of people saying, Washington didn't want the militia. He didn't want Minutemen. He didn't want Second Amendment from people with a clear bias. I mean, when they come out and say that, it's like, okay, challenge accepted. Let me find founding documents, diaries, letters, things that they write to each other. Because they would write a lot of letters to each other, and we have a lot of those letters still. So I read them, and Washington's biggest criticism for the militia was that, if you've ever watched The Patriot, it was actually pretty good with this depiction. They weren't, regulated. What is, for instance, the Bill of Rights, Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary for this security of a free state, that other people to keep and bear arms to not be infringed. By regulated, they don't mean like EPA regulation or anything. Uh-oh. They mean well regulated means like to be a British regular or an American military army regular is like well trained, always doing drills. So his thing was they weren't well trained and they were retreating a lot. Then they started to realize how to use them better, and that is to kind of supplement and free up a lot of jobs for the regular military so they can wage war or to just conduct kind of guerrilla warfare. And then it was successful. And so really, when people give Second Amendment people a hard time about training, wearing tactical gear, they're actually flying in the face of what the founders said, because they wanted us to be kind of like, little soldiers, but we were responsible for our own training, because they didn't want, for instance, a lot of people say, well, the new militia is the National Guard. That is not true. The National Guard Act in 1930 or 1939, I forget what it was, made that so. But they never wanted states to have their own standing militaries, because then it would be state versus state. And that was the whole problem with like Articles of Confederation and the anti-federalist movement, was that the big powerful states like Pennsylvania or Georgia could just walk over everyone else's rights and take their land or whatever. And then it would just be chaos. So they wanted the people to be well trained, but they had to be responsible for themselves and source their own stuff themselves. That way they have autonomy from their government. That's my little rant. So anyway, I read that. I think I'm off trail. Nope, I just go up the creek bed, it looks like. I'm at 1,500 feet. All right. So anyway, there was that. I read Common Sense by Thomas Paine. That was good. It's a quick read. It was good. I've also read, I think it's important to understand your enemy. And my bias is very clear. I'm pro-democracy, republic, constitution. And so I read Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto. And that was after I read the Federalist Papers. And I'll tell you what, it is just plainly obvious that our founders, if they were alive at the same time as Marx and they debated, they would have wiped the floor with him. He, for one, I told this to my buddy, I was like, it's like listening to a drunk at a bar ramble on and on about something and repeat himself 17 times and just keep using the same buzzwords. And then, lo and behold, he was a rampant alcoholic. I was like, wow, nail on the head, So that was funny. But yeah, his vocabulary was a lot less. He doesn't source stuff very well. The only thing he did in the beginning was basically a book report on socialism experiments in Europe and how they all kind of failed or fell short. Hence why he said, they needed communism and how that was perfect. And then, of course, how to draw upon differences between people groups to then make it easier to control them. And you see that a lot today. Yeah, intersectionality is exactly that. It's cultural Marxism, and they're drawing distinctions between everyone, so everyone feels like they're getting represented, but what they're really doing is breaking everyone up to points where they cannot cooperate between each other and then work for common causes. They would have to then rely on those who, proclaim themselves to be their saviors for representation and support, but they're actually forfeiting their effectiveness, and they're breaking the bonds of fellowship between everyone in the country. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I would like to read every evil bastard's writings Pol Pot, you know, Mao Zedong. I have his little red book. I studied international business with a focus on Asia and China. I always liked China historically. I always found their culture really cool. I studied Mandarin. Forgot all of it basically. But I really love China's culture and their history. Don't like their government though. But a lot of evil people in the past. But they're tough people. Anyway, I would like to read their stuff. Stalin, Lenin, I don't care, I'll read it all. You know, it's funny, those are all safe to read, and you won't be put on a watch list to read those. There's one monster, one bastard, that I'd really like to read his writings on so I can know when I come across one, and then, you know, be able to, you know, say, oh, pump the brakes, you know, that's, you know, the N-word. That is Adolf and his viewpoints, you know, because I read My Suffering, Mein Kampf. So I really do want to read that. I want to read everything. I'm not against it. I don't think you should censor books. I don't think you should censor literature at all. Film, anything. Shouldn't censor people's communications via phone. We forfeited a lot of rights in my lifetime, and I'm only 30, because of global war on terror and everything else. And, you know, we were proud to do it. During the pandemic, we were proud to do it. And gets weaponized against us. That's why I'm such a big pro local government, pro constitution guy. Federal government has to shrink. It never will without, you know, a collapse of some sort. But if I could wave my wand, I would do that. Let all the power go back to localities, then state, and then to the federal. But it's just the opposite. And that's what makes it so dangerous. I read, what was it? Rules for Radicals by Saul D. Alinsky. He's an evil man. I read The Social Contract by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. That was really good, really good. Enlightenment era stuff. I'm a big fan of the Enlightenment. I want to read all I can from then. I've got a lot of stuff. I read the Magna Carta. You know, the big takeaway from that was property rights and restriction of government, but they had a roundabout way to where they still got what they wanted. It was that the king was not allowed to directly tax his people and basically screw them over, because that was why they had basically a civil war, was over overreach. So they made the Magna Carta, which was great for setting a trajectory, a path for not modern, but Enlightenment era Western government. It was made in 1192. You know, a couple hundred years later, you had Enlightenment, and then you eventually had, you know, our foundation as a country and everything else. But it was a constitution, and it gave property rights to the people, which was huge. Gave like inheritance laws and stuff like that. And it was supposed to be king and his people couldn't like tax the living crap out of their people, because then people get fed up and rise up. I don't know where I am. So what wound up happening is they said, okay, we won't do that anymore. But the Jews, European Jews, literally, in the Magna Carta it talks about them. They said, we will, okay, so I need to go that way, I guess. We will have them be allowed to be bankers and tax collectors. And they're the only people we're allowed to tax directly. And no one else is allowed to tax them, only the king. What that wound up doing is it's the king's roundabout way of essentially doing like a, those cash and go places is kind of the way I would call it. And they, basically the king would tax the living crap out of them, but gave them the right to be bankers and stuff like that. And so they would lend money out to the people, and then they would charge, you know, interest and everything else to the people. And that was the king's way of circumventing that. And so you see, government isn't your friend. Even though, you know, Magna Carta did help put us on a path towards our Constitution, it was obviously flawed. And also I see how it became such a stepping stone for like a Eurocentric, anti-Semitic future. Where then, you know, the idea of like a greedy Jew comes about. It's because they're in England, the only ones really allowed to be bankers and stuff, because they weren't allowed to do very many other jobs. So they were kind of forced to do that. And so people, I guess, would resent them. I mean, but they had to survive. It's not like it was their, I'm sure plenty of people like getting rich, but that was their only path. Speaking of path, I think this is where I'm supposed to go, but boy, oh boy, is it pretty. We started way down there, but I don't know where the trail really ends. Still got over half a mile, but it's just getting, you know, overgrown, not well worn. Whew. Check the phone. Yep. Basically just walking up the creek bed now, huh? Nice thing about being snowy, just follow my footprints. So, anyway, since I'm talking about all these topics, maybe I'll, I mean, honestly, I don't know if there's anyone who's actually going to watch this entire thing. You know, the entire unedited, long 2.5 hour video or whatever. But if so, thank you very much. You're awesome. But I am thinking, like these topics and stuff, I might just take them out as like little clips, things to talk about. That is pretty, guys. The stone. Oh, quaking aspens, man, they're cool. I want to see your big brother. Cut it down into subjects, because I do intend to talk about all this. I intend to read more stuff. I have a bunch of books I still need to read. Yeah. Yeah, anything that's to do with like founding thoughts and stuff like that. I mean, I read The Republic years ago in college, in one ear out the other, so to speak, or in one eye out the other. I didn't really soak it in. Eventually I'll go back to old Greek philosophy and stuff, but I'm working my way back in time a little at a time, because I really do want to understand, and I don't want people to tell me what to think. So, yep. And I don't buy audiobooks. I like physical copies of stuff. If censorship comes on things they deign to be bad, wrong think, I want to have a physical copy of it, even if I don't like it myself. Book burning is bad. Book burning equal bad. So, yep. Where are you at for batteries, by the way, guys? Half. That ain't good. Oh, look at that blue sky over those mountains. Frickin' pretty, huh? Yeah. Well, on my way back down, I'm gonna turn on music. Obviously, YouTube hates music and it'll copy strike the crap out of you. So, no music. Unless I can find some like copyright free stuff that we're allowed to use and I put it over. I'd be okay with that. But for right now, I'm not playing it. Put my way down when the camera's turned off. Yeah, I'll listen to my Pandora, my Spotify. So if we've gained 1,500 feet of elevation, we're at least 6,000 feet. So I guess this is just gonna end at like a waterfall, because those mountains are a heck of a lot higher than that. More Dippin' Dots, guys. Oh. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh. It's about the only wildlife I've heard is this little bird. Sounds like a car alarm. Yeah. Huh. Oh, cold. Well, I could be drinking my water. I also don't want to pee on camera, so I'll probably pee at the end when I turn you guys off or you die, whichever comes first. And then, yeah, but I could be drinking my water. But yeah, when I finish, I've got pepperoni, a little bit I can eat. Yeah. So, yeah, my fiance really isn't a camper. Sucks. This is the best place in the world, really, to camp, because there's so many great states close by. Yeah, it's really overgrown now, or over used. There's too many people. But anyway, so what we'll probably do is glamp. So for like $25 on KSL, which is like their version of Craigslist out here, I bought a 5-person tent that was used once. So I'll set that up at like a pretty big camping spot and then go from there, make that like a base camp. Since she's so needy. The other thing is she wants me to have a porta-john essentially. So I don't know, might do the 5-gallon bucket thing and some like shavings or something from Tractor Supply or whatever and do that. I don't know. Walking up a creek bed, do do do. All right, so these boulders in front of me as a reference are, you might even be able to tell, they're like chest height. So, anyway, yeah, this is not easy going. That's not the hardest thing I've done. Ooh. Thought about bringing like a thermos of coffee up here, chilling at the end, you know, kicking back. Water will have to do. I do think I have to get a different backpack. One specifically for this because I'm crunched for space. If you have one in mind, let me know. Yeah. That is pretty, isn't it? All this. You are recording, right? Sorry, I thought you weren't recording. Yeah. My battery. Ow. Oh. Yeah. Oh, wow, what a view. Here, go back to where I was kneeling. Holy moly, guys. Yeah, that tells you how high we are, huh? Down, so you go like down here, past, you know, where the pine are, and that mountain face goes that way. Go down that valley, and eventually you see how the mountain starts to go back up. That valley is where we started, where I parked my car. And those were, I mean, it's high elevation, man. It's a lot of gain. I mean, this is pretty, though. I am sweating my butt off. My head is, I should say. Not wearing a hat. Don't really need one. Ears aren't cold. My ears really don't get super cold unless it's windy. The other reason to wear like long underwear, thermals, whatever you want to call it, is this ripstop material like this is it's rough. It's more like a canvas. It's tough. But I got delicate skin. It would hurt. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, just keep following the creek bed. Looks like up in those pines is where it's supposed to end. It's pretty steep now, if you couldn't tell. You know, it's slow going now, but it's less mileage, if that makes sense. It's steep, but a shorter distance for this leg of the journey. So yeah, I have my drone. When I get to the top, just take a pee, take a break, eat, drink, be merry. And I will fly the drone, check all this out. It's a slippery rock. Nice thing is these pants have knees on them too, if you can see. Knee pads built in. That helps. Yeah, they rank this as moderate out here. These people are bonkers. That's pretty. My heart's a thumping, guys. I ordered a smartwatch. It's not really like an Apple or a Samsung kind of thing. It's a some Chinese thing. But check my heart, O2, all that stuff, fitness. That's all I want it for. I'm not one of those people who are always on their phone. So I'm not spending a bunch of money. Any of that. Fitbits are ugly, lame. A little bit more expensive than this thing. It was like 55 bucks. Looks like something Master Chief would wear. So of course I had to buy it. Shout out to Halo. Yeah, I read the books. Not all of them. Fall of Reach was really good. But yeah. I love the lore of that. They had like a audio series called Hunt the Truth, which was really good, and they didn't touch on it at all in any of the recent video games. It was done by 343, and it was about Oni, how corrupt and evil they are, and you know, spooky. And yeah, there was a I mean, besides the fact that Locke was Oni, there really wasn't anything else about it. Like, we understand Oni's the spooky Black Ops guys, but holy moly, dude. I'm on like a snowdrift or something. Wow. Woo. Ooh. Get some water. So yeah, I'm excited about that. That's why I have knee pads. Boots are a little wet, you can see. Oh, and those waterproof socks I was talking about, aren't they sexy? Nice. So anyway, do I go up or straight? Yeah. Oh. Apparently I'm sitting down now. Yep. We're at the creek bed and that's it. Not much more, guys. Looks like you're making it. Whew. Getting very slippery though. And I just sunk into like a 4 foot deep, not really 4 foot, 3 feet deep snowdrift. Boop. Hoop. Dang it. You're crawling. Come on. The one bit you might actually want snowshoes for. Yeah. That's my face. Oh, damn it. I'm crawling. Oh, oh. I'm just falling into these holes. I'll walk on the side. Because this stuff's deep and I could twist an ankle or break something, because I don't know how what I'm walking over could be a pit. Whew. Almost there, guys. You know, I wear size like 11.5 or 12, depending on what I'm wearing. Shoes. It's almost like I have snowshoes anyway, right? Oh. Oh. Damn, or darn. This is hard going, guys. Oh. Just sunk to my knees again. Sorry. Yeah. Oh. Ah. So, my fiance's father is a big mountain biker. If he ever comes out here, there are a bunch of mountain bike trails and stuff, obviously. Yeah. I don't have one. Maybe I could rent one and ride with him, along with my fiance, obviously. Obviously, there's a bunch of hiking opportunities, but I don't know. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go right up to the top before it starts to get thick again and call that the end. Not as a quitter, but that's basically where the marked trail ends on the All Trails app. And then you're basically just trailblazing until you get to the top, I guess. It's been a bunch of wildlife right there. See, I'm gonna drone it up. Ah! And show off the hike. You know, give us perspective. See the pretty sights. Have a good time. Wow. Not a lot of camping opportunities on this trail. Once upon a time, I was a big cross-country runner. Ah, damn it. Man, my heart is pounding, guys. This last bit's been a lot of falling up the hill. If you're wondering, a lot of people do get killed in avalanches here. Not here, like this mountain, but our area. Yeah, every year. It's pretty if there's clouds just going over. They're hauling butt, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah. Dude, these knee pads saving my butt. I don't know if I'll be able to take the drone off. This is so steep. Ah! Oh, that is very pretty. I guess that's it. It's getting so steep, I'm actually running the risk of sliding like down. So, no more of that. Hold on a second. So guys, if you want to prove to me that you made it all the way through the video, I'm going to probably add the drone footage after this. But if you want to just let me know that you made it all the way. The code phrase is Alexa is a blueberry. Yeah. But yeah, right now I'm going to just turn this thing around and show you guys how pretty it is out here. Look at that, huh? That's nice. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for coming and watching and listening to me yammer on all day. Have a great day, guys. Bye.